Hey friends, we've got a new blog up called 5 Reasons for Fatigue, and I wanted to tell you a bit about it. There are more than 5 reasons for fatigue. Certainly, unfortunately, that's what's tricky about uncovering the roots of fatigue, but I wanted to highlight some top ones, with a little special emphasis on hormones because we're talking a lot about hormones this month. You know, after all the fun of summer and overeating and drinking, we often have gained weight. We're not feeling our best. I was getting a bunch of headaches from eating high histamine foods recently, so I was not immune to the summertime fun and subsequent problems. So if you are feeling kind of worn out, especially as school's starting again and responsibilities are kicking back in, here's a few things you may want to consider for your own case. So number one is low cortisol. So when your adrenal glands are sort of burnt out from overworking and overstressing, eventually they can tank out and your energy is just low. This may mean that you're waking up with low energy or you're really crashing super hard in the afternoon, probably especially the waking up with low energy, although cortisol is in a pattern. It's highest in the morning. It does naturally come down a lot in the afternoon, then it comes down for sleeping. So that pattern can be off, and that's something that we test in the Dutch test. Number two is low testosterone. So sometimes testosterone is just thought about for like muscles or sex, but it's also really for energy and it's a sort of vitality that makes you feel good about yourself. So low testosterone can be a factor for men or women. We do test both of those in our Dutch test, and the report, where's my report? There's a report also, here we go. I wanted to kind of show you the report. It'll kind of show testosterone levels and types of testosterone you have, as well as other hormone levels kind of going down the chain. Number three is low thyroid hormone levels. So this can be kind of all-day fatigue, brain fog, and other things could be going on like weight, cold, eyebrows falling out, hair falling out, constipation. Although I've struggled with low thyroid, and a lot of those things did not apply to me, except the fatigue definitely did. So I'm actually on some thyroid hormone replacement in the morning right now. But sometimes there's just smaller tweaks you can do to your thyroid. So we offer testing for thyroid as well. This is what that report looks like. It tests for thyroid as well as blood sugar, which can actually cause fatigue as well. Ferritin or iron levels, which can cause fatigue. So, and some other great markers like vitamin D and white blood cells. So this is a test we offer as well. You know, sometimes we suspect this or that when we're learning about health, but we don't really know. So the way to really know is to test. Number 4 reason is heavy metals. So we don't currently offer a heavy metals test, but we're going to link to a couple people who do. We can help take a look at it for you. But my friend Wendy Myers is one such expert. Just in short, heavy metals can displace our beneficial minerals that are kind of often called spark plugs in the body. So if there's a heavy metal load and minerals are kind of displaced and imbalanced, you could feel fatigued. You could also have hair loss, some other strange symptoms perhaps from heavy metals. So luckily that's a really affordable test. The only downside is they're going to take a chunk of your hair, which if you don't have a lot of hair, it's a bit of a bummer. But it's a really affordable test. And again, you can find more on the blog. You know, we're learning more lately about heavy metals in organic produce, unfortunately. It can be in rice, can be in kale. Those are just a couple of examples. They can be in beauty products like lipsticks. They can be in cans. So I've been looking at my own usage of aluminum cans, like for things like sparkling water. Number 5 is mold illness and mitochondrial dysfunction. So mold illness can cause any of those first 3 things we talked about, actually, amongst many other things. But if you've been exposed to toxic mold chronically, the mycotoxins can enter really any cell of the body. I think it's even been theorized they go to like deep bone, but they can definitely enter the brain, muscle cells. And so adrenals. So any cell can be affected by these toxins and then perform less. So your adrenal cells could be performing less, then you're having low cortisol. It can actually inflame your hypothalamus pituitary axis and then cause overall hormone low production. It can affect your sex hormones for sure. So one thing that can happen with mold exposure is just low hormone levels. That's what happened for me, like all over the place. And then I also developed Hashimoto's, which is included in our thyroid lab, by the way. We'll test for that. So in all that confusion in the body with mold, a lot of things can happen hormonally to make you fatigued. And then the mitochondrial dysfunction that can happen. So every cell has mitochondria inside that sort of make energy for the cell. So you can imagine if that's all affected by mycotoxins, and unfortunately that mechanism is very affected by mycotoxins, you're just not going to have energy. You're just not going to feel the same. So that real deep fatigue that I felt with my mold, it can also be, really low thyroid, maybe a few other things. But when you have that super deep fatigue, you're just tired all day, you can't wake up, you can't think, it's definitely worth doing some testing. So that could be with our mold test, our mold and toxins test. But again, you can get some kind of hints about it from these other hormonal tests. And really, if you say you already know you have mold and now you're on the road to recovery, testing your hormones can be great at this stage. So I think I just threw a lot at you at once, but our audience is generally pretty knowledgeable. So hopefully you hung in there with me, and you're always welcome to ask questions. Those are 5 reasons you could be experiencing fatigue. So if you haven't unpacked any of those, if you suspect anything I said, it may be time to test. As I record this now in September, we are offering a sale on our Dutch test, which is our #1 most popular test. That's the hormone test, and our big 3 hormone package, which includes the GI map stool test, the Dutch test, and that thyroid blood test that has some other markers. So it's a really great comprehensive view of how things are going in your body. You may at this time just choose to just get a heavy metal test or get that mycotoxin mold test I talked about. It really depends on where you're at and what stage you're at. And we're always happy to help you at any stage with supplement recommendations, consultation through labs, because sometimes you need that extra set of eyeballs on your case to really move forward. Many of our clients know a lot, and that's fantastic, but we can also, get lost in our own case. I know I do, and I need to get some outside support sometimes and outside testing to know the best paths forward. So thanks for watching again. We welcome your questions, and we'd love to meet you on a lab consultation.